Hi, Lionel. We're trying to figure this thing out. I'm supposed to be on, have the phone flipped, so apparently I'm not got it orientated correctly yet. But I got you
Well,
on here, man.
landscape,
That's a
yeah,
good thing.
landscape mode looks good.
Okay. It doesn't look crooked on your end?
No, not on mine end.
Everybody good?
I'm on landscape anyway because I've joined, so mine looks right.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess you got to be on landscape to watch this, folks, because this is my first time doing this, so bear with me. We may have some technical difficulties. We may have some production issues, and if nothing else, you guys get some entertainment value from watching me stumble around out here. So that's how we're going to roll with this. My name is John Shepard. I'm the founder, co-founder with Justin Samaro of BBQ Pitmasters, Novice to Expert. Um, we're a group that's really dedicated on a mission to bring people all over the world together to enjoy barbecue of all forms. We don't subscribe to the notion that there's only one kind of barbecue or one kind of smoker or one type of fuel or a very narrow definition of barbecue. I grew up in North Carolina. I'm a North Carolina barbecue person. As growing up, to me, I had a very, very narrow definition of barbecue because people in North Carolina only get exposed to a very singular type of barbecue, and that's pork barbecue. There's a little bit of variety out on the coast. It's whole hog in eastern North Carolina, and on the other side of the state, West North Carolina, Lexington area, it's barbecue, it's pork shoulder. And there's a slight variance in the sauces, but other than that, that is the extent of what North Carolina is exposed to for barbecue. I've traveled a lot throughout my career. The traveling has allowed me exposure to a lot of other different types of cultures, barbecue. I joined the group forum on the internet called the Barbecue Brethren about 10 years ago. It's got international members from all over the world, and they helped expand my knowledge of what barbecue could be and what it is. And I belonged to a bunch of barbecue groups before I started this one about a year ago. And one of the things I noticed is, you had old school smokers that were all about offset smokers, which I have one over here. There was groups that were all about, well, you can only cook with wood, or you can only cook with charcoal, or big green eggs, or then there's the pellet grill community, and, they only do their pellets. So what I was trying to do is not categorize ourselves and be more of a open to anything. I have a fire pit over here behind us that you can't see. It's an open fire pit that I put a rotisserie on. I've also got a swinging device I cook over. I've got a vertical cabinet smoker. I've got an offset smoker behind us here. You can see a couple of Webers. I've got a pizza oven that the camera's actually sitting on now. So I have a variety of smokers and types because I'm a barbecue enthusiast. And that's what I'm hoping to attract with this group is people that's here for the love of cooking, for the love of what they're doing, for the love of providing to their friends and family. Because if there's one definition of barbecue that I go towards the most, and that definition is cooking food around friends and family, bringing community together. It doesn't matter what kind of meat you're cooking, doesn't matter how you're cooking it. If it's outdoors, if you're cooking it, you're having fun, let's call it barbecue for the sake of this group. And let's not have a bunch of squabbles about what is and what isn't. So now that that's being said, I told you I started the group about a year ago. I'm actually co-owner with my wife Jody of a company called Naturific. We make our own barbecue seasonings, loose leaf teas, things of that nature. Naturific comes from the merging of the two words, nature plus terrific. For Naturific, all of our seasonings are all natural. They're sugar free. We don't put any additives, no anti-caking additives, and so. Really, when I started the group a year ago, I told you it's because I was kind of frustrated about how groups were being very niche focused. It was that, and I wanted a place to be able to show off my cooking, right? And our seasonings, I think they're fantastic seasonings. So you will hear Naturific and see Naturific posts about in the group. This is not a Naturific only group. We allow other seasonings and matter of fact, we've got some big sponsors coming up in the future, meats, seasonings, sauces. It's going to be some good stuff. But our main sponsor that's bringing us all through this, allowing me to be here today, is Naturific. So give them the creds, even if it is our company. Hey, nods it to you. Okay, so let's get with what's going on here. We are a new group. We've been involved. Got very fortunate to be involved. About 2 months ago, we got asked to be involved by Facebook with their More Together campaign. Their More Together campaign is about bringing communities, bringing people together. We can do more together as a group than we can as an individual. And out of the blue, they contacted us and said, "Hey, we want to fly you down to LA. We're going to do this commercial. We're going to put it out there to promote our groups, and we want you to be a part of it." So, of course, as a fairly new group, I was excited to be able to get the exposure for our group. Excited to be able to do something I've never even considered doing. So we went down there. Me and Justin did. We filmed the commercial. We came in. That was a surreal experience. They paid for all the stuff. We went down there, had a big time. We came back, and then 2 weeks later, they said, "Hey, we want to send you down to Memphis. Memphis Amaze going on. There's this Beale Street Music Festival. Part of the More Together campaign. We're kind of launching it there. We want you down there." So they flew us down there. We got to meet Miley Cyrus. It's crazy. Come back after spending the weekend there, and they said, "Hey, we want to send you down to the Memphis and Barbecue Championship." So we went down there. Again, had a big time. Talking to people at Facebook tent, kind of hanging around there, representing our group, Barbecue, Pitmasters, Novice to Expert. That's what this is all about. This is not about John Shepard, but that's not about Naturific. It's not about any of our moderators or admins. It's about the group. It's about the community. So please try to remember that going forward. So I'm going to cook some flank steak today. Behind me, I've got a grill going. I've got asparagus already going on the grill. It's wrapped in foil. I'm going to unwrap it here in a little bit and get some char on it. I don't want to cook it too long. This is a real thin asparagus. I've got it set up here on my Weber with a vortex turned upside down. The vortex turned upside down, what that does is it gives a wider heat distribution, but it still focuses it. And what I want to do is I want to cook this flank steak hot and fast. I want to get it to medium rare, maybe pull it about 129, 130. We're going to slice it thin and unbiased against the grain, and we're going to serve it over rice. It's going to be amazing. All right, we're going to put this flank steak on. It's been marinating in peppery lime, which is one of our seasonings, garlic, olive oil. We're going to put the lid on that, let that cook a couple minutes. And while it's cooking, I'm going to bring on Lionel. Lionel's with us. Lionel is one of our moderators. He's one of a total of 8 of the mod and admin team. You should be able to see him on screen with me here. I'm going to turn it over to Lionel. And Lionel, if you just give a quick introduction on yourself and your background, and then later on in the broadcast, I'm going to open it up to Q&A to everybody. I have questions today on barbecue, how to do it, what it is, what's the difference between East and West. I'm a Western kind of guy. He's a Eastern guy, so he's whole hog, I'm shoulder. We can kind of get you covered in North Carolina pork barbecue. So we're going to do a Q&A a little bit later, but for now, I'm going to turn it over to Lionel while I'm over here messing with the steak for a minute.
Well, thank you, John. John pretty much introduced me pretty well. I'm born and raised in North Carolina my whole life. Lived a few different places. Eastern part of the state, as he said, is whole hog. So that's why I grew up on. In the northeastern part of the state, they really like minced barbecue. I'm not a personal fan of minced. I don't mind chopped or pulled. I do enjoy the whole hog, though. Much like John, though, I did get to travel for work. So I traveled all over the country, the world, been introduced to many different styles of barbecue. Luckily, I've met quite a few people from different regions who've shared with me. My wife is actually from Mississippi, so I've got a lot of influences from that area. We run a catering company around here. We actually call Two State Barbecue because we blend North Carolina and Mississippi very well. I agree with John. I don't believe there's any one true style of barbecue. It's what you like. I think, the biggest thing I'll argue people with is if barbecue is a noun or a verb. But that's more of a joke and play with people. But I think, we all come from different areas. We all have our likes and dislikes. We work towards spreading the joy of barbecue. The nice thing about barbecue and grilling and smoking is you can always have a conversation with anybody. When I travel for work, I could go West Coast, I go to the Northeast, I go deep South, Pacific Northwest, didn't matter. And my laptop screen I had for work always rotated through different pictures of food I had cooked, and that always led to many conversations and many friendships. I look forward meeting more people through this group, sharing my knowledge, learning from everybody. I think there's always something I can learn. Uh, I don't think I know it all. I like new foods, like new things. I have various grills and smokers, just like John. I've got everything from a large spice one, which is an insulated vertical smoker, down to Weber grills, smokers, pellet grills. The only thing I don't own is gas, but I've cooked on many of them. Don't think I really need a gas grill. That's what I got my pellet grill for. I can get it up to temperature just like a gas grill. But I go over friends' houses who have gas, and I can still turn out good food. So if that's what you have, don't feel like you're any less of a cook or a barbecuer. It's what you have. It's what you deal with. I think a good challenge for me is when I go to other people's houses and learn, cook food on their grill. Never cooked on it before. Never seen it till I walked in the house that day. Give me a challenge, and we'll take it on from there.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks, Lionel. That's awesome. So, as some of you folks know, we have been running a giveaway this week of Best Barbecue Joke. Here in a few minutes, we're going to have Jody pick who that winner is by the most likes. So you guys get on there and like your favorite joke. We're going to give them a bag of seasonings. We have a big sponsor coming up in the month of July. I don't know that I'm actually allowed to say who it is yet. I don't know if it's been finalized, but we're pretty excited about it. It's going to give us a chance to give away some stuff everybody can use, and quite a bit of it. So we're going to do a Q&A. What I would like to do is you guys put together some questions that you have. I'm going to go over here. We're going to cook a little bit of flank steak. I'm going to kind of talk to you as I'm cooking that, and I guys want you to come up with some questions, either regarding North Carolina pork or this flank steak I'm cooking over here, either one, or the group in general, either way. I'll try to take a peek at the questions here in a few minutes, and we'll go from there.
And if he's busy, I'll answer questions as we go. So, and we've got quite a few moderators in the chat who'll be happy to answer questions. So feel free to ask anything. Like you said, watch he's cooking, pork in North Carolina, barbecue in general, chicken, doesn't matter. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. Right now, I'm extremely jealous of John's weather because it's been raining nonstop here in North Carolina for the last 3 days.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous here. It's like 85 and sunny. It's a little humid for California, but nothing like North Carolina, so I'm not going to complain too much. Depending on where I check right here, I'm checking at several different places with my ThermoWorks ThermoPen. I'm between 112 and 128. 130 is about where I want to be. You have to be real careful with flank steak when you're taking the temperature of flank steak. It's really thin. And so with the thermometer, what happens is if you have a thin piece of meat and you stick the thermometer, guess what happens? You stick it through the other side, and now you're measuring the temperature of the fire or the grate or something besides the meat. So with a thin piece of meat like flank steak or really any steaks, the best way to take a measurement is from the side. Come in from the side where you get the thermometer in the middle of the meat, and you're going to get a better reading that way. We're just about ready over here with the flank steak. We're going to take the flank steak off. We're going to let it rest. While it's resting, I'm going to throw this asparagus right on the grill, give it a little char, and we're going to take it off and we're going to eat.
Yeah.
See that? Is that coming out okay, Lionel?
Yeah, that's looking good.
All right, that's the flank steak right there.
All right, Shane, your question about cooking the hog. in North Carolina in general, there's few people who do it running style like you're talking about. You know, and running style is cooking up on its legs like it's running. In North Carolina, definitely in the eastern part of the state, we usually cook it butterflied open. So it's cut from neck down all the way across his belly. Usually, what will happen is the first several hours is cooked skin side up. We will oil and salt the skin heavily for and cook it that way for about 3 or 4 hours, and then we'll flip it to its back to finish cooking for the rest of the 8 to 10 hours. During that time, while you're cooking it skin side down, we will baste the pig with a vinegar style sauce, and just continue to mop that about every hour, just pour it straight in the cavity to get flavor into the pig. But you very rarely see racing style pigs in North Carolina. A couple people have done it. I have not done it yet. It is on my to-do list. I will actually be cooking a pig on July 20th. And I'm planning to do some Facebook Live videos here on the group during that time. You know, I'll start early in the morning. Probably the night before, I'll start how we prep the pig early in the morning when we start lighting everything off, and throughout the day as we do various things, so you can see the whole procedure how we do it in a North Carolina pig.
Is that a fake background back here? No, that's not fake, man. Come on. It's not moving because there's no wind. It's hot. See? Not fake. That's just like what it looks like when there's no wind blowing out here. Sun shining. All right, folks, I've got asparagus on. I've got the flank steak off and resting. What I did with the asparagus was I had it wrapped up in foil. We seasoned this with olive oil and what, Jody? Garlicky lemon and olive oil on the asparagus. Put it in foil, wrapped it up in foil, set it off to the side of the heat, let it sit on there about 15 minutes. That gets it good and pliable. Now I'm just charring it, give it some color, and then we're going to bring it in.
Oh, well, he works on asparagus. I'll talk to Nathan's question, and good question. This is a topic that's asked a lot by different people. As I traveled, ribs are always a popular thing to cook. Everybody loves a good rib, and I've cooked on electric, I've cooked on gas, I've cooked on charcoal. So pretty much the same concepts all the way around. The biggest thing I always make sure I remove the membrane off the back of it. Season it very well. But as for cooking, you hear the 3-2-1 method, the 2-1-1 method. There's different schools of thoughts on it. To keep it simple in this short video, let's talk spare ribs in a 3-2-1 method. You're 3 hours just unwrapped straight in the heat source. So it doesn't matter if you're doing electric, gas, or charcoal. Running at 220, 225, 250-ish, depending on how your system's set up. 2 hours in a wrap, tinfoil wrap with a little bit of some type of juice in there. Sometimes people add apple juice. Some people add honey. It's kind of what your flavor profile is. Some people don't add anything. I usually don't. I may spritz it with a little bit of apple juice. Wrap it tight. Let it go for 2 hours, and then you take it out of that wrap and let it sit back in the heat for an hour to set up the bark. And the last 15, 20 minutes, you can put your thin layer of sauce on it to finish it. That will roughly give you good tender ribs. And he's got some great looking asparagus. Luckily, I just ate, so I'm not starving now. But, the 3-2-1 you can run, that gives you a good baseline. Depending on your grill, it may be a 2, 1.5, and 45 minutes. You'll kind of learn. My pellet grill is more of a 2, 1.5, and 30 minutes. My Weber Smoky Mountains is more of a 3, 2, 1, pretty close depending on the temperature I run. But that gives you a good general idea to start playing with it. Baby rack ribs, you go more of a 2-1-1 to start off with. But you play with it, you'll learn. as you keep cooking, when you pick up the ribs, with your tongs or whatever, you should have a nice bend in it. Um, and then you get into the whole argument, fall off the bone, or is it a tender bite? And that really comes down to personal preference.
Hey, Big Mister, hey Neil Straught, I see you on there. You made a post a while ago. I want to speak to because it's very important. Uh, Neil Straughter, Big Mister, who has a ton of experiences on restaurant, has competed in professional barbecue. Made a post earlier today in our group, and his post was about smoke, and he said smoke should be used as any other seasoning. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but you can over smoke. You can get carried away with smoke. But you should use smoke as you would a seasoning. It's meant to be something that adds to the flavor, doesn't take away from it. You don't want it overpowering. You notice I was grilling in direct with the Vortex on the Weber, but I actually had down in the coals a chunk of cherry wood. That's where the smoke's coming from. Get that little bit of smokiness added into that flank steak and that asparagus from that one chunk of cherry that's in there. And it's burning hot and fast, so we know we get a good clean smoke off that cherry. All you're going to get is a little faint. Cherry is very mild, so it's a great wood smoke with. All you're going to get is a little bit of faint smoke flavor that acts as a seasoning to that meat, to those veggies. So that was a great post by Neil. I just wanted to kind of highlight that point. So thanks for that post, Neil. We have here plated, and you're going to have to tell me if you can see it because my monitor system's not working all that well because I'm low tech here. But here's a flank steak and asparagus. You can see the flank steak. It's cooked. I didn't cook it very long at all. It's about a medium to medium rare. You can see it a little bit better on here. See that? All right. My lovely assistant, Jody. All right, folks. I'm going to be going to eat here soon. Before we do, we're going to pick a winner for the Naturific seasoning package. Jody posted earlier in the week asking for the best barbecue joke. I think we had several entries, 3 or 4, something like that. And Jody, have you had a chance to look and see who the winner is going to be? No, but she's going to do that. She's working on that now. So here's what we got. While she's doing that, we make a line of seasonings. This is going to be the sponsor bullshit you have to put up with. Q salt, our most popular selling seasoning. Salt, pepper, portobello mushroom, celery, and garlic. It was made for beef. It's amazing on everything from pork to eggs to popcorn. Very, very popular with the barbecue community. Killer and brisket too. They just fed like 1,000 to 1,500 veterans in Milwaukee area this weekend. We were fortunate to be able to donate some Q salt. They had some pictures that I hopefully got shared in the group of some Q salt chicken. You guys got to take a look at that. It looks amazing. They also did some pork loin with it. We also make a line of citrus seasonings. We have a garlic lemon, we have a pepper lime, and we have a ginger orange. Garlic lemon is amazing on everything from veggies to chicken. That's what we have in the asparagus today.
Jason Youngquist.
Some of the other things that we make a lamb rub. We make a chicken salt inspired by Australian chicken salt, but we made it our own by making it all natural. There's no chemicals in it. We actually use a dehydrated chicken stock and add a couple other herbs and seasonings to it. It's brilliant. It's a high heat, no sugar. Won't burn. Lamb rub, we mentioned that. I also have a hot wing rub as well. The winner today of our gets to pick from any of our Naturific seasonings. Go to naturific.com, pick any bag from what we offer on there. It's going to be Jason Youngquist. Jason Youngquist had the best joke about talking about how big the barbecue is and whether it's worth it to fire. Kind of got shot back by his wife. So he had the most likes. He's the winner. Congratulations, Jason. I'm going to wrap it up here in a few minutes. We're going to give a couple of more questions and answers. I don't know if you've got any sitting there, Lionel, that you're ready to answer. If so, we can. If not, we can sign off.
I haven't seen any more pop up. We'll give a couple of minutes. I will continue on the ribs, just kind of like Robert said. You don't have to wrap. That's not necessary. A lot of people don't. Some people do. Um, it all depends on my time if I want to wrap or not. If I got time, I just let the airflow go. If I want to, my wife prefers fall off the bone rib, so I will wrap because it gives me a little bit extra tenderness. So that's the way I go. Keep the wife happy. Everybody's happy.
In
Um,
competition, wrap for color. They don't
yep.
necessarily wrap for color because they don't want to get too dark. They don't want the ribs to be in consistent color. And so when it gets to the color they want, they'll wrap in competition. But then they'll take the wrapping off to help crisp up that bark a little bit. At home here, I don't wrap.
Exactly.
That's just the way I've always done it. But you can if you want. That's a great thing about barbecue. Folks, we're going to sign off here. Joining in. We're going to do this hopefully every Sunday. We're going to see what time works for everybody and what format works best. And hopefully as we get a couple of these under our belt, we'll get a little bit better at them. And I'd like you guys to comment in the comments. What do you want to see us do? What do you want to see us talk about? What would you like to see happen during this period of time? This is your group. This is your time. I'm going to try to bring in special guests like I have with Lionel. We're kind of testing that tonight and see how that works. I still don't think I got the orientation quite right because I think we're supposed to be able to do a split screen when I get it correct. But practice makes perfect. Smoke on, everybody. Happy barbecue. Talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.
Everybody have a good evening.